We've all been there. It's 2 a.m., you just finished the last page of your book, closed the cover, and now you're wrecked. Or elated, shocked, frustrated, distraught, or maybe a combination of so many emotions you can't put a name to what you're feeling.
But there's an ache in your chest, and all you want to do is turn to someone who knows what you just went through, who you can talk about that favorite scene with, swap theories about the sequel, gush over the hottie your main character landed.
You might try to explain it to your significant other, suggest the book to a colleague, or swap a couple surface-level thoughts with a friend who read it years ago. But there's no one who truly gets it. No one who will tear each moment apart with you, put it all back together, and start the next great read by your side. But what if we told you that now there's someone who will?
I'm Brooke.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Elena.
And we're the High Ladies of the Book Court. Let's read your next favorite book together.
Hi, everybody. We're back, and we are doing A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I know most of you know that we have read multiple times. I know this is my third time through. Where is everybody else at? What's your number?
This one's two.
Two for both of you. Yeah. So we're here to read the whole series because we are super excited about Crescent City coming out, and we figured doing a Crescent City reread would be boring and predictable, but also we just read it and you can go see our episodes on that. But what we haven't done yet is ACOTAR, which I think is usually everybody's first series. So the caveat with this is that we will be talking about this series starting tonight with full spoilers, like all the way through Silver Flames, no holds barred. The one thing that we will save you guys from, if you've only read ACOTAR or if you're making your way through other Mossiverse series, we will not talk about other series until we warn you. So somewhere toward the end of the episode, we'll give you a little warning. And if you've only read ACOTAR, just stop listening, go read Throne of Glass or Crescent City, wherever you're at, and then come back and join us because we might have some things to just talk about in conjunction with this book and the other series that we don't want to spoil you on. So yeah, we're here doing our second and third rereads of A Court of Thorns and Roses. We had originally planned to get through chapter 24 because we figured, small book, easy read, not a lot's happening, this will be fine. And then we forgot how boring the first part of this book is. And we got through 15. So we are going to owe you 2 more episodes instead of 1. And we will let you know how we're going to break that down. But for tonight, we are going to discuss in detail chapters 1 through 15, but in, talking about them in conjunction with the rest of the series. Was there anywhere that
you can think of it as like a bonus episode, right? Like
bonus episode, bonus content. We'll get it in there. Don't worry. We'll keep you updated. But yeah, we figured this way. And again, spoilers. So if you haven't read all of ACOTAR, please stop now because I'm about to spoil a whole lot. But we figured a first episode about Feyre and Tamlin would be kind of cool. Then a second episode about our favorite night guy. All right. Just in case you didn't turn it off, I'm not gonna say names yet. It's making me uncomfortable. And then a third episode about Under the Mountain, because there's a lot that happens in there. So that's how we're going to break it down. Did anyone have anywhere that they wanted to start? Like any immediate things they needed to scream about or rant about? Anything they snored through? Did we look up the word baldric in this read through, or was it the last read through?
Last read through.
Last read through, okay. Yeah, Tamlin's baldric was front and center a lot of these scenes. But yeah, I mean, we can get started like right at the beginning with 2, or I guess 3 of our favorite side characters, Nesta, Elaine, and I refer to him as Papa Archeron. I don't know what everyone else refers to him as.
Also refer to him that. Oh, we could also talk about Mama Archeron for whatever.
Yeah.
Little hints
Yeah,
that she was there for.
the lingering presence of deceased
Yeah.
Mama Archeron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About how like Feyre's entire family just failed her, basically.
Yeah.
I went into this really wanting to find some way to support Nesta. I just can't. Like, I literally think I told Jamie, I was like, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find a way to justify her actions. And
It's hard.
There was one. There was one. I found one, and then I was like, "Well, never mind." So basically, they're at the marketplace. Fair is getting ready to sell, the pelts and everything and the fur, and at the end, Nesta was like, stay away from the mercenary. Like they can't be trusted, and that's because she got robbed. And it looked like, oh, she's looking out for Feyre, but then it could be construed that Nesta is really looking out for the money. So.
Yeah. I will say, Elena, I went into this also with like, okay, I'm going to keep an open mind because obviously at this point, again, spoilers, I'm going to stop saying it. Spoilers make me uncomfortable, but we're just assuming everybody here has read all these books. We love Elena Nesta at this point, like R.I.P. Papa Archeron. So I also wanted to go into this being like, okay, I'm going to see it. And I will say that the thing that I came up with, which is something that I have like had to come to terms with Silver Flames, is that I think that Sarah is really good at writing this in Feyre's perspective. So I think that we have to look at these scenes in a way that we understand Nesta's not being great. Like these words are words that she's saying, but we're seeing it through Feyre's eyes and like the, I guess, decade and a half of like her being just like not a great sister and everybody taking advantage of her. So I think that everything she's seeing is colored with this like just this animosity.
well, and I'll give it to Nesta. My girl chopped the wood eventually.
She did.
Like she did it.
Twice.
Yeah.
She got out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And other than Feyre, she was one of the first ones to bounce back and not cower. So I'll give her that too when Tamlin came.
Yeah. It was hard though. Like it was still hard. Like things were said that were hurtful. Definitely like had a lot of questions about why people were not helping Feyre. And I know like being further removed from ACOTAR, you do like hear people talking about like, oh, like Feyre wasn't that tough. Like, and like, no, she was. She was very tough. Like she shot that wolf through the eye. Like she's got some skills. Like my girl's
She's
got
a
skills.
self-taught hunter.
Yes.
Didn't even want to hunt.
True. The hunting thing is sad because I can imagine like hating hunting and then feeling like you have to do it. But the wolf thing I don't think is that impressive. My guy let her kill her. Let her kill him.
No,
But there was a line that said like he lingered or something like that. Like he let that happen. And I was like, I think when the second read through, I didn't notice that. I was like, oh, cool. Like she got him. But really, he let that
definitely.
happen.
He let her kill him, but she still shot him through the eye. I mean, even like non-moving target bullseyes are hard. So still, like, I still have to take my hat off to her.
Well, and like the part I can't wrap my head around is how long he knew she was there. Like if he knew she was there when he went after the doe, knowing it would probably prompt her to go after him, or if he didn't know she was there and after she did the first arrow, he was like, okay, yeah, murder me for my boy Tam.
I think it seems like he's surprised, but yeah, I mean, we'll never know because he died. Super dead.
R.I.P.
I mean,
Yeah.
so we could talk about the curse, right? Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. So like Tam
Curse
sends
is
out
common knowledge.
Tam sends out sentinels. Like he kind of knew what he was in for. He signed up for this.
Yeah. And definitely, I mean, like, he makes a huge sacrifice, seeing, like, okay, this is the thing I came out for.
Absolutely.
Obviously don't want to die, but, like, I guess I pulled the short straw, and I'm going to be the one that gets this, curse, hopefully, on the way to being reversed.
I couldn't remember how many of Tamlin's friends have died at this point.
I don't think any, or, like, maybe one or two by accident, I think comes out later that, like, villagers may have accidentally killed them, but it's like he just keeps sending them and they keep not getting killed. And like the whole thing is that they have to be killed by a mortal human woman with like hate in her heart. So it's a very, very specific
Very
curse.
specific.
So specific.
No wonder it took 49 years.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think Tamlin took a break in there because he got kind of depressed and was like, don't bother anymore. But yeah, he definitely allows her to kill him. But still, shot through the eye takes skill. Yeah.
So at this point, we're impressed by Feyre.
Yeah. And like Elena, you said like, self-taught. And like I noticed throughout the book, she talks about other things. Like she taught herself how to swim. Like she's trying to teach herself how to like read and write. I'm just impressed.
But
I
she
love
didn't.
her.
She doesn't teach herself how to read and write.
Not well, but she's trying.
Someone else teaches her.
Right.
She teaches herself how to paint.
She did her own map,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a good map, but it works for her. She knows how to read her own.
Yeah. Yeah. My girl's strong. I like her.
Yeah. I think it just sucks because she had to do it herself. Her siblings didn't really help at all.
Or anyone, like her mom, her dad, like she talks about how her mom just kind of like never got them a governess, like didn't really think Feyre needed to learn these things. She was like, great, you can paint, awesome.
And we learn in Silver Flames, or maybe in this one, I can't remember, but definitely in Silver Flames that we learned that the mother taught like Nesta pretty much how to be like a wife, right? And it's like the only thing that was important. And then they just forgot about Feyre, I guess.
Yeah. It's sad. Did anybody find anything else about like Elaine or Nesta that made them feel better about them at the beginning?
I feel like Elaine was just so oblivious.
Yeah, it was.
But
it was
like,
rough.
or maybe like she knew what was happening, but just ignored it, which is also just as bad.
Yeah. And again, like I think we're seeing it through Feyre's perspective. So maybe they've been helping her a little more, but like not as much as she needed. And she's just like feeling really downtrodden and like she needs more support.
You can tell like he's so lonely. Like the Nesta and Elaine have each other. He might have Papa Archeron, but like not kind of useless, sorry.
No.
And she doesn't have any friends except Isaac. But Isaac's gonna get married.
That's rough when that's your only friend. Do we even need to talk about Isaac? Well,
no.
Okay, good.
Isaac
no one wants to talk about Isaac.
Don't worry, we already forgot who he was.
Right. Yeah, I think something that was interesting to me that I think we talked a little bit about before we started the episode was just like and like I knew this from before, but just how racist Feyre is. Like
yeah.
And it's like, I get it. You've heard stories your whole life about how these fairies are dangerous. So like, I still fully support her decision in the woods. Like she thought she was keeping people safe, but it's just like, it's painful to see like these two groups of people meet with like Feyre meeting Tamlin and Lucien. And also Tamlin and Lucien are also super racist. Like I didn't really realize that.
I didn't pick up on that. Yeah.
No, this third reread, I'm like, oh, you're at like they keep calling her human and like talking down to her. And I'm like, all right, like y'all need to get on the same page, which we know some of them do, but it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of surprised, like realizing like, oh, she's very prejudiced and having these preconceived notions about fairies and stuff. It was just like a little shocking, like just reading it for the second time.
Yeah. Just like not really understanding the opposite culture, like having no idea.
Yeah, no experience whatsoever, but thinking that they're really evil and they did these things to the mortals.
Yeah, it really frustrated me in the beginning when she kept being like, how could they kidnap me? I don't deserve this. I deserve to go home. I've done nothing wrong. And it's like, girl, take a step back. Like, you could have it so much worse right now. Like, so much worse.
True.
And you're
But like, I don't blame her for like not trusting these guys. Like she just met them. Again, she kidnapped them, and then they keep saying like her family's all set, they're good, but like, how does she know that? She doesn't see it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But she also kept being like, I think I've done enough. I deserve to go home now. And it's like, girl, you murdered their friend.
I do also agree with her, like, not wanting to be like, oh, okay, I guess, like, I committed this crime. Because it's like, to be fair to her, she didn't realize that what she was doing was wrong. We also know that Tamlin's full of shit and, like, there's no treaty that says he had to take her. So, like, that's also a problem. But, I think that it's realizing that, like, she saw the fairies as these others that were just, like, dangerous creatures that it was okay to kill. And they see
Right.
humans as, like, these, like, beneath fairies, like not intelligent, like not capable of doing anything. Like there's a time where Tamlin, and I know I'm a couple chapters ahead, so sorry if this is, but there's something about just like that she's interested in like painting, and he's shocked. He's like, oh, you like have passions about things? And it's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It's-
that's further. I got to
Do you
that
have
point.
a hobby?
But it's like, luckily skipping ahead is okay here because we've all read it at least once. But yeah, I think that we're getting to the point where they're realizing like Feyre is sorry. Like, she's realizing I killed their friend, and like they're realizing
Yeah.
she's a person.
Well, and I think after, again, this is also ahead, but after the fairy is injured, like after he comes in with his wings ripped off and Lucian like throws up and she apologizes to Tamlin. Like I think she's finally getting to that point. It was just the first 10 chapters in Prithian where she was like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Were
And I mean,
really
like,
frustrating.
with all the
I'm
books
sorry,
that
not
come
sorry.
after, right. With all the books that come after this, I mean, like, we know that at least out of this group of 3, like, 2 people make a lot of progress and learn a lot about themselves and other people. But also to be fair, I think that Tamlin is also making progress. And I think that one of the most interesting things about rereading this series is being able to see, like, him and Lucian, like, whispering about, like, hey, dude, you have to make
Oh,
her
I
fall in
love
love with
that.
you. And, like, Tamlin wants nothing. Like, he wants nothing to do with her. But at the same time, you're reading these scenes and you're like, okay, he has to get her to fall in love with him. But, like, you can tell he is falling in love with her. Like, you can't fake all of, like, the nice things he says and does and, like, the genuine interest that he starts to have in her life. Like, Tamlin is not a good enough actor to fake that at all.
Your hair is clean.
You look clean.
I love the little bro moments because, like, I think when you first read it, you don't pick up on that, and then you read it in your second reread, you're like, oh, because they're trying to break the curse, so that's why so like picking up on that is like really cute and appreciating that little bro moments.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, like,
bro moments
But
make me sad.
it makes you sad.
Yeah.
Why?
knowing everything you know,
Oh, because yeah.
looking into the future.
Because
Yeah.
they're
So
not friends
true.
anymore. Like they have, like it's so clear that they're so close. They're like kind of like brothers, and you just like know what's coming, and that they are currently not at a point where they're really friends. I just feel like Tamlin got did dirty in these books.
Yeah. And like I think that that's something that I was trying really hard to like look into. It was like, okay, we all love to rail on Tamlin. Like nobody here I think is trying to make a case for like Tamlin is perfect. He's like totally ready to be a great partner. But like he is a good guy. Like he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy with a good heart that just has some really big faults. And it's like you see that here. Like he has good intentions. He is just like not good at talking to people. He has like zero charisma score. Absolutely. Like his abs do all the talking.
Oh my god,
right?
I highlighted a scene, not a scene, but like a line where she describes his forearm.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a thing, guys.
Our girl Fabra has never seen muscles. Like she is out of her league right now. Like from Isaac to this, I also understand.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
He's a work of art.
yes, she's definitely digging him. But yeah, I think that like Tamlin, I kept trying to see if like everything he was saying was just to try to break the curse, and like that really inside he like never cared about her, or like just at the end. But I think like he genuinely falls for her, and it's like uh
I am noticing like little things about him, like things that might be considered like a red flag, and that kind of adds to his temper. But like I think right now he's kind of like doing a pretty good job about keeping it in or controlling his temper. But you can kind of see like little hints here and there where he could lose it. And they talk about how powerful he is constantly.
yeah. And I mean, they talk about that like throughout the series, that Tamlin is like one of the most powerful of all of them.
Probably the most powerful. He's the only one that can probably kill the bog. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing it. Bog. And then like if he's the most powerful, then like the other High Lords must be like God or something.
Yeah.
So Tamlin, he's most powerful. And then you see it again at the end.
Yeah. So the first time that I read this book, I remember having thoughts that did Feyre end up with Lucian? Because so the only thing that I got, and I wouldn't even call it spoiled. I was going to say like semi-spoiled, but the thing that I kind of knew was that there was like a possible bait and switch in this book. And I didn't know like if the switch would be successful. I just knew there would be like multiple options. So I remember that when Feyre got to the Spring Court, I immediately was like, I think Lucian is hotter than Tamlin. Maybe it's that one. And I thought that would be like the bait and switch, because Tamlin was the obvious like Beauty and the Beast like trope choice. And I was like, maybe we go for his best friend. And jealousy is everywhere with these two. So I don't know if you guys had that experience at all. You both also think that Lucian is super hot?
Of course, absolutely. He had me at that eye, you know.
Oh. I mean, so I will say, like, very early, I realized that they were not going to be together. And I don't know what it was about it, if it was just like that, like, really strong friend vibe. But I've loved the two of them through the whole series, and like how their relationship just like progresses. And it's always fun for me to come back to this like first version of their friendship, where I'm just like, Lucian's got some great one-liners. Like, he is an asshole, but he has great one-liners.
I miss this Lucian. Lucian gets so boring. Like, I'm so glad to see a version of Lucian that's more than I'm sad Elaine won't date me.
Oh, Lucian.
Yeah, I love their banter. I think when the first read through, I was like, oh, they make like really good, you know, friends. But I was sad that he would take a step back and like have his friend try to be with Feyre.
Yeah.
But I understand, because it was to, you know, break the curse.
Yeah, and I mean, like, through my first reread, I always felt like Lucian was like trying to push Tamlin toward Feyre, but I thought it was just like in like a best friend wingman sense, like trying to be like, yeah, like you've expressed interest in this weird human, like I guess like go off with her. But yeah.
They just have a really good banter.
Yeah. I think Lucian also becomes a nicer person. Like I've kind of joked about it, but like Feyre and Lucian do really make a lot of progress in like being better people like through this series. So I think we're seeing that too. Is like Lucian's not boring all the time. Sometimes he's definitely boring, but I think he's also just like a nicer person. That is sad a lot of the time.
So sad.
And confused
No.
about his emotions.
It's just kind of crazy because right now they're in a really bad situation, but they're like, both of them are in such a better place here than like, I don't know, 2 or 3 books from now.
They go through some shit. Yeah. But speaking of Lucian and like his emotions, I thought about how like I still think like to this day where we're at in the series, like end of Silver Flames, that like Lucian doesn't really know what he wants, and I think that's hard for him. But I loved seeing in this read through that like Feyre is realizing she's finally going to be living a life where she might not have to like fight for food or take care of people, and she's like, oh, what do I actually want to do with my life? Like she's never really thought about that. Like it's always been, I want enough food and then to like have time to paint. And now she's opening up her mind to all of the possibilities of what can I do with my life. I love that for her.
I when I was reading this too, I realized that she and Tamlin are pretty similar, except she has a better a better hold on her temper. Whereas, like, these are two individuals that are in a position where they didn't want to be. Like, Tamlin didn't want to be High Lord. Feyre didn't want to be the sole provider for her family. But they're stuck in these roles of having to take care of their people.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Tamlin just wants to be a protector. Like, I feel like Tamlin is such a protector, and you know who really just wants to be protected? Elaine.
No,
we don't know that.
You know what?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Don't know that. Not even Elaine's
POV. So happy just in a garden.
All right, because the rest of our book court community probably doesn't know where we all land on the spectrum of who does Elaine end up with. Y'all know where Elena ends. Elena, I'm not gonna quash this line of discussion. I will allow you to talk about your theories about Tamlin and Elaine if you can give me textual evidence that shows that they should be together between chapters 1 and 15.
Do you have it? Do you have some?
No, because I'm also keeping track of it and it hasn't happened yet. So we will not be talking about that in this episode.
Wait, I was really hoping you had seen something I had missed, because I've been waiting for like Feyre to like show up and be like, this reminds me of Elaine. Like, I've been waiting for that moment and it hasn't happened.
So I will say that it's
only
in there.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
The only thing I've seen is the gifts that Elaine and Feyre got for each other. Feyre got Elaine seeds, like flowers, and Elaine got her paints. And I was just being like, oh, that's go ahead.
When you were like, no, it would have been great. Vegetable seeds.
Flower seeds. Yeah. Like some squash would have been great.
But again, like, this was in Feyre's point of view, and she made a statement how like it didn't occur to Elaine to get her hands dirty. And just remembering how Elaine has changed from this book to where she is now, where she does want to get her hands dirty. So just keep in mind that characters change.
Yeah, and I will say I can say for me, I'm keeping my mind open about characters who have not found their mates, truly mated or otherwise, yet. But I think up until 15, all we can say is that it does seem like Elaine really likes flowers, and Tamlin is the High Lord of Flowers. So yes, you're right. There's some,
in that
there's
sense, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, totally.
And the dresser, like if we use the dresser, which we've used before, is technically in
Flowers.
the first 15 chapters.
Yes,
yeah.
Flowers. Yeah, flowers.
Yep.
They've got flowers.
Yeah. Well, but not just the flowers. The fact that all the other dress or doorknobs ended up being, important.
Yes.
A little bit. What's it called?
Yeah.
Foreshadowy.
Yeah, definitely foreshadowy. So it's possible. It's definitely possible. I'm not saying that, but yeah. I don't want you and Jamie to crawl through your computers and start hitting each other. So we're gonna save that.
We would never do that
for later. What?
Oh.
But yeah. Do we want to talk about people that Feyre actually the person that Feyre actually ends up with? Like, did you guys see any? Why did you immediately get upset about this line of discussion, Elena?
Because of where I stopped reading.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. So I think in the race, Elena's in first, I'm in second, and Jamie's in third, which is fine because we've all read this book before.
Yeah.
But yes, at first we had thought that we were going to stop after Calanmai because we all thought a world without Rhys was a world not worth living in. But I think that this was fine. This was fine. And I really liked rereading this again and being able to take note and like highlight all of the cute little references to the fact that this is not where Feyre ends up. Like, she is destined for something greater and darker with more stars.
So cute.
Anybody? Did anybody see anything?
I think, well, I did pick up on one, but it was very early on, and it's very vague. Oh, where is it? It was when Papa Archeron was like saying that Feyre deserves more, to like just deserves more, and again, like that was very vague.
Yeah. No, I highlighted that note. I thought that was really nice. Him like
Yeah.
saying, and it's like something about hope too, that hope was really important. And he was basically telling her like, go, no, like don't think about us again. And I think that
Yeah.
I was holding on to that too, because Feyre keeps coming back to like, no one stopped Tamlin from taking me, like no one protected me. And it's like, I mean, I think partially it's because her dad was like, anything is better than here. Like, go live your life. But yeah, I mean, Elena, you brought up the cute chest of drawers that Feyre paints for her and her sisters, and her drawer is the night sky with stars in it, and we know from the end of A Court of Mist and Fury that it's from a vision that Rhys sent to her, and that those drawers are very significant to all three of our girls. So it's definitely one of them. I also liked her swimming in a pool of starlight. I was like, definitely wouldn't have thought about that the first read through. It's like one of her happiest memories while she's with Tamlin. Oops, sorry, my guy. But yeah, I've been going a little further and have been highlighting everything that's either green colored or purple colored. It's probably too deep, but I'm having a great time doing it.
I ended on the standing before me was the most beautiful man I had ever seen, and I am obsessed.
No, next episode. We
Love
can't
it.
get excited about that until the next episode, but it's coming. It's
Okay.
coming. Yeah. Yeah. Was there anything else that anybody like wanted to pull apart or like made them like they had new insight in this
Can
read?
we circle back to the village and talk about
Yeah.
that random mercenary?
Yes.
Is she coming back? Like, I feel like she just feels too weird to not come back at some point. But we're 5 books in, and 4 books in, 4.5 books in,
Yeah.
and I don't think she's come back. But it feels like she would.
Every single time I have read this book, she sticks out to me. And it's like just the weirdest specifics about like her eye color I highlighted and just like, yeah, I think that she has to somehow.
Like, she kind of
He knows
pulls. Am I allowed to mention other characters as like metaphors here?
Other characters in this series?
No, other characters and other.
No, the rules
No.
were very clear.
She kind of reminds me of another
No,
character.
no. So we're gonna save that for after. But yes, I agree with you. I think that she seems very unique and specific, and there's got to be something there.
Okay,
Yeah,
but I'm not saying
something
she
like that.
reminds me of another character. Like, I think she is another character. I'm saying she reminds me of another character in her actions, in terms of like her overpaying for the pelts in order to help someone who's in a worse situation.
I know what you're saying.
Do
Jamie knows
better.
what you're saying. Other people listening to this, they can't know what you're saying, so we're gonna talk about it after. It's funny because my exact thought when I assumed we needed to do Mossverse or no Mossverse was, can Elena not spoil things?
I didn't. I
No,
asked, and you
no.
told me no.
That should be a
This is
drinking
fine.
game.
We keep this, but no. Yeah, we'll bring that up after. Anything else ACOTAR specific? That anybody
No,
wants
I
to
just
talk about?
think this merchant is
we-
weird and don't know.
Yeah.
I think we covered it all in the first 15.
Oh, one more thing that occurred to me that I just find hilarious every single time I read this book now after the first time is Farrah walking around everywhere thinking she's alone, and there are like at least 20 people around her just like silently watching her do all these things, and it just makes me giggle. I feel bad that I'm like laughing at her really, but all the time where she's like, no one's here. Okay. I just picture everyone like just standing watching her in the court.
Definitely did not pick up on that the first read.
No.
Even though the first read where like there was like creepy children laughing, but there was no one there. I thought that was weird. Like maybe there was like ghosts or something. But no, there were actual children and actual people like watching her.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Is
Yeah,
everyone
it's funny
invisible?
rereading it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was part of the curse. Or to protect them, right, Brooke? Or
I think that Tamlin ends up telling her that it was mostly to protect his court from her. Because obviously she just killed a fairy. And I don't know for sure because it's been a long time since I've read this book, but he is making them all be invisible. So that she can't see them, but they can see her. So it's all these funny times where she's like sneaking out to go see her dad that's a puka, and like, you know, she's like having a moment over by the water. And I just like all these times Feyre thinks she's like having a quiet moment to herself, and there are just people like trimming the hedges or like mowing the lawn. Just like, oh, this is such a mean trick.
I forgot there were invisible people until right now.
See, I love that. That's why rereading books is great, because sometimes you catch extra things and sometimes you forget and it surprises you all over again.
yeah.
So good. Yeah. If that is it, and feel free to just like yell out if you think of anything, but I think that earlier we had talked about playing a fun, quick game that is just ACOTAR specific, where we are going to say who we think each of us is most like in terms of like an ACOTAR character, and then we can all say which character we most identify with. And then there are quizzes that Jamie found that we are going to link to that everyone should go take. We're going to take them too. And then in the next episode, which is going to be live, and we're going to share details about when that's going to be, but you guys can all join us. Come chat with us and tell us what character you got for the quizzes and which one you most identify with.
Yeah, take the quiz with us.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm excited. But yeah, does anybody want to go first and like we say who they think somebody is most like? I can volunteer as tribute. Am I volunteering? Or you guys, do I have the floor? I think for a long time we've known
ACOTAR.
Just ACOTAR. Just ACOTAR.
Because I'm stuck on Elena.
You know what? I kept going back and forth about Elena too, but yeah, Jamie, you're our Elaine in our group, which I love.
I figured.
Yeah, no, I love it because you're just like. No, I was just gonna say because like you're quieter, which I make it a very high bar to be louder than me, but like you're just like the quiet badass in the corner.
You mean I'm not like a quiet badass who's like a secret spy master with, plays with the shadows.
Who knows? Who knows? It might be the person that you're destined to be with. We don't know yet.
It could be. Totally could be.
It could be.
Yes.
Elaine has a lot of great options, and we don't know which one she's going to pick yet. But I fully believe that she's going to pick, and I'm here for it.
Actually, when you said who he's gonna end up with, I actually thought Gwen, because I'm like, oh, maybe.
Oh, Azrael. Where are you in this
book?
I think this book is so boring. I love this book. It just doesn't have a lot of characters I love.
Did you mean like ACOTAR, like this ACOTAR, or like the whole ACOTAR verse? Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Oh no. For the game.
Oh, I thought we meant the whole ACOTAR verse.
Whole ACOTAR
I thought
verse.
the whole ACOTAR, which is why I said Azrael and Gwen.
Yeah.
Okay, I totally messed up. I'm sorry. You can cut this out. Here, cut it out.
No. We're good. It's all right. I was gonna say though that the character that I kept like leaning toward giving to Elena was Gwen. Because also like, sometimes on the quieter side, but also like secret badass. And now just like openly badass. Like just like punching people in the face and not feeling bad about it. I love it.
Well, that's why I was like in between like Nesta, but I would like Lena's not like in your face like Nesta, but she
No.
can be like protective, and standing up for
Yes.
what's right.
And that's why I think Gwen, because like Elena will mess someone up if she like crosses someone she loves, but she's too nice. Too nice. Could never be Nesta.
She can be nice. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Also,
Well-
Elena, I don't want to throw you under the bus, but I could never picture you walking up and down that many stairs. So it's definitely not Nesta.
Oh my god, I watched a video of someone do it on the Stairmaster.
Oh, no. It's a lot of stairs.
Well, I was gonna say, I think Jamie's Elaine, but like Jamie's Elaine book 3, not Elaine and ACOTAR, because Elaine and ACOTAR, like this one is not a good person.
We're not
No,
not a huge fan of Elaine ACOTAR.
Current
First book
iterations of characters only, like their current
Okay.
form. Yeah.
Don't worry, I didn't take it as an insult.
Good. Elaine is great. You shouldn't. She's amazing. But yeah, who do you guys most identify with? Like, who do you, when you're like reading through the book, who are you like, this is my person?
Well, if we're current reads, I say Elaine.
Book 1, Elaine. Said no
I
one.
feel like currently Lucian, because he's so snarky, and I feel like I can be so snarky.
I could totally see you as Lucian, actually. Yeah.
You're chapter 15 Lucian.
Chapter 15 Lucian, who's so done with everything, and it's just like,
I feel like there was a part where like, he wanted to tell Feyre what the curse was, but couldn't. That's you.
Yeah. Or he's like, oh, I need you to know this thing, so go do this dangerous thing and trap the cereal. Just here's how to do it, but I'm not telling you.
Or like when they have that secret conversation that she eavesdrops on, but they're doing it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Tamlin, you and your heart of stone.
Oh my god, I just got to that part. I forgot that it was on purpose.
See? Rereads. Magical.
Right, because at the end I was like, wait, when did they say he had a heart of stone? So early on, and I totally missed that the first read.
It happens a couple more times. Yeah.
Oh, but we didn't go over what you are, Brooke.
I was gonna say, I feel like we always say Brooke is like Feyre, because she's like so protective and so caring and would like do whatever she needed to take care of things.
I love my girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was why.
And so talented.
Oh. Like me just painting and thinking it's a masterpiece, and then like you see the view over my shoulder and it's just like a cartoon bumblebee with like a little flower.
No, in other creative ways. I feel like you're very creative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's why these books spoke to me like so quickly. Even book 1, it was just like, oh yeah, this girl. Like, and I think like we've all, everybody's been through some shit and like can, follow Feyre and feel like they've come a long way. But yeah, I love her. She's definitely my number 1. I don't care if that makes me boring.
You're totally not boring. No.
Yeah. Elena, but like current iterations of characters, like do you still most identify with Lucian, who's just super sad and pining after Elaine, but also maybe in love with Vasa, but he has no idea?
Absolutely not. I do not see myself as sad boy Lucian. I see myself as good boy.
Sad autumn boy. Wait, who?
Sad boy Lucian?
No. I thought you said who you most identify with.
Oh. No, I didn't. I could see Gwen.
I always say Gwyn. That's how it's pronounced in the audiobooks, and it's GWYN, so I don't think it's Gwen. But
I would say Gwen. I'm like okay being Nesta when she's grown a little bit. Like when she gets to a point where she's not being the worst. Like my girl just wants to sit in a bubble bath and read a book and feel that.
Oh yeah.
Feel that. Yep.
Yeah. Or like Nesta, who's like super excited to plan her wedding and like make it over
Mhm.
the top and awesome.
Oh, we
Yeah,
can't
and
wait
make
for
her pay for
that
it.
for you.
I do love Nesta. It's wonderful. Look at how far she's come.
So far.
But yeah. Did we do everybody? Did everybody? Awesome. So yeah, we're gonna post the quizzes. Take them, don't take them. Definitely join us for the next episode and we'll let you know when it's gonna be. But yeah, we'll be streaming it so that you guys can join us via chat. We can actually have an in-time discussion with all of you now that we've got this awesome community together. So unless we have any other thoughts about ACOTAR, the first 15 chapters specifically, we're gonna go over and maybe say a couple things about things that made us think about other books and other series. If you want to join us, if you've read the other books, if you somehow want to be spoiled, that makes no sense to me, but feel free, continue on. Otherwise, hit pause and then come back once you're all caught up. Yeah. I am giving everyone 20 seconds.
Who's ready to
So is
get
this the part
spoiled?
where I'm allowed to say whatever I want?
Just in case, like, I'm just picturing someone that's like listening to it and they're like, oh crap, like my phone's on the other side of the room. I need to, like, I'm giving them time to sprint and then hit pause. But I think we've given them enough time.
You have not finished Thorn of Glass series. If you haven't read Crescent City, walk away. Come back when you're done.
Because Elena feels like a character in another book, reminds her of a character in this book, and we're going to talk about that now. So Elena, would you like to tell us about any theories or anything that you have about the mercenary?
Yeah, I'm curious.
The mercenary gave Aelin vibes, but not that I think she's Aelin. It just very much reminded me of like different things Aelin had done.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I had that immediate thought, and I was like, is there a timeline in which, and I was like, no, there really isn't.
There's not a timeline where Aelin is just a mercenary who's chilling.
Right,
I
right.
mean, no.
The eyes would have been the dead giveaway.
It's more that we basically know all of like Aelin's life as a mercenary, and there's no time where she went to like a random island that she like didn't know the name of or had like what's called like Perthium. Like there was no weird like time where that happened. So I don't think it's her, and her description is all off.
Yeah, it definitely is, but she's definitely suspicious. Like I just feel like either she's from a different book or she's gonna pop up again in the books.
Or that, she's from one of the other worlds, and my guess would probably be that she's from Throne of Glass.
Yeah, she just like stuck out. Just seems like she's the type of character that would come back later.
Yeah,
and we're still waiting.
Yeah, they described her face as being stone-like twice, and then Feyre gets like weirdly specific about like her black eyes and like how they're like different flecks of different colored black and silver, and like I know Feyre can get weird about colors with almost everything, but this was like very specific. I was just like, like weird, like black eyes. I've seen that before, but not this specific black. But yeah, she definitely stuck out to me. Did you guys catch all the mentions of word marks just like happening?
No.
No. Let me refer to my
didn't.
tabs.
Where did you see that?
Was it on the tapestry?
On the tapestry that Feyre finds in
Yeah, were there word marks on it? Okay.
Wait, the word marks that Feyre can't read?
So Feyre is talking about coming back to their cottage with her dad, and it's the first page of chapter 2.
Symbols, that's right.
Yeah, and she says bits of ice came free from the gray stones of the cottage, revealing the faded ward markings etched around the threshold. My father had once convinced a passing charlatan to trade the engravings against fairy harm in exchange for one of his wares.
I don't think they are. I don't think so. I don't think
doors? On the doors, though?
Where's the next one? She's pulling up another one.
Who is this passing charlatan?
I enjoy that Feyre then says that they were undoubtedly fake. Mortals didn't possess magic. Sure. And she says,
What?
the man, claiming some high fey blood in his ancestry, had just carved the whirls and swirls and runes around the door and windows, muttered a few nonsense words, and ambled on his way.
Okay, the few nonsense words.
Bippity boppity boople, I'm going back to Adderlaw.
How I missed that again. Great
Because
catch, Brooke.
I'm always looking for weird symbols.
That's so
at all
good.
times.
That's so good.
At all times. There's one other one. I don't know if I tabbed it, so I might not be able to find it. Oh,
I think there was
did.
another one. How did they spell it? Was it like W-A-R-D? Ward?
No, it was
it's spelled-
W-A-R-D.
Ward, yeah. W-A-R-D, not W-Y-R-D. But I thought it was a very specific word choice. And I know that, like, in Moss lore, theoretically, Sarah had not figured out that she wanted the worlds to connect until Silver Flames. So I know that some of these may be a stretch, but we also have to remember that she had already written Throne of Glass by this point. So word marks were already in her repertoire. And I wouldn't be surprised if she just, like, put them in there just in case. Like, oh, that'd be cool. Maybe someday.
Yeah.
The other one was in the tapestry, Elena. So you were right about
that's what I
that.
thought.
Yeah, she talks about the hands holding the cauldron and, like, dumping out the gold effervescent liquid. It says, no, not sparkling, but
I think I
effervescent.
highlighted that.
Yeah, she says it was effervescent with small symbols, perhaps of some ancient fairy language.
Yeah. Okay, I could have sworn.
Yeah. So those were the only two
Good catches.
word marquee parts that I saw, but I thought that was cool. And then obviously they talk a lot about, like, the, you know, the Fae and mortal war and, like, the long forgotten gods that the fairies used to pray to, and may or may not have been on the planet for a time and then told to be gone. We don't know, but yeah.
Well, and I feel like they spend a lot of time in the tapestry looking at the middle mountain, and Feyre has the thought where she's like, that could be important. That mountain looks important.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you know, still trying to figure out what, like, under the mountain, and then also, like, the important mountain in the Night Court might potentially tie into, like, the larger Moss plot, but definitely, like, under the mountain vibes for sure. Is Jacob, like, packing? Is he talking about
He's
his
just in
packing
the
list
doorway.
out loud?
Jacob, can you close the door?
This is how
Can you
dedicated
give us
we
like
are.
5 minutes?
Poor Elena
Yeah.
has to catch a flight in, like, 8 hours. Yeah. Like, Elena has to go catch a flight in 8 hours. So we're gonna wrap this up really fast.
You know what, Jacob? If anything, we're talking less because we haven't all read what we were supposed to read.
We could have been talking more, Jacob.
He left.
But yeah,
Jacob the cereal. What do you mean?
in the interest in getting our friend some sleep before her flight,
Jacob hasn't packed yet.
Oh, well, I mean,
That's what his problem is.
We still can't talk that much more, but was there anything else that you guys thought was, like, a cool connection to any of the other characters or other worlds?
Not other than the fact that Lucian and Bryce are definitely related.
Their hair is very different colors.
No, it's not.
So many Autumn Kings. We love the Autumn world. Yeah. So did you guys want to say what character you most identify with in all of Mossverse? I think, Jamie, the quizzes that you got are just ACOTAR, right? Yeah.
One is the quizzes.
Mhm.
The quiz. There was one where it's all ACOTAR, and the other one has like indie literature.
Oh, cool.
So like Elena ZA is on there.
I don't see myself as a ZA character. I see myself as like a Cormac.
You just wanted to bring him up, didn't you? You know who we haven't talked about in a long time? Cormac.
Justice for Cormac.
Justice. Oh, goodness. Is that really your answer? You feel like Cormac? I'm going to need a reason. Unloved? Unappreciated?
He just trying his best.
Oh. Yeah. And it all went up in flames.
Also, I would be a great secret agent.
You would.
Would, yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Sorry.
You would.
On the secret part?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I was hesitating on the secret part.
No, because you're very, like, it feels very easy to trust you. Like, would never think that you were, like, trying to lie or pull the wool over my eyes. So if you were, I would never know.
Okay, but Cormac was the kind of spy that nobody trusted either way.
Right. Maybe you've got to find a new character to
Well,
identify.
he was very good. He was very good at it.
It was, yeah. Jamie, do you have a character that you most identify with in all of Mossverse?
I thought a lead, just because she's like quiet, observant. People underestimate her.
If I hadn't chose Cormac, I was going to choose Lorcan.
So you guys can just ride off into the sunset together.
We're meant to be together.
Oh. Yeah. I think for me it's still Feyre. Like, she's the character that has spoken to me the most. But I think, like, if I had to pick someone outside of ACOTAR, like push myself to pick someone else, I think it would probably be Aelin. And mostly because she is always doing things without like warning other people. It's just like that like ADHD part that's just like, I'm gonna do this. I'm not telling anyone. I'm gonna hope it goes well. And then a lot of the times it doesn't, but like, you know, she has the best of intentions at all times. Sometimes she just makes huge messes, which I definitely do. Yeah. But yeah.
So if we were guessing or putting people with outside of ACOTAR for Elena, I actually thought Jessica, because she's like business.
Slightly mysterious.
Yeah, slightly mysterious.
Has a big
Like
gun.
she's willing to help people, but like on her own terms. Yeah, and she's a badass.
Yeah. Oh, I love Jessica. I can't wait until we find out more about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not prepare to think of
I didn't either.
outside of ACOTAR characters. I'm gonna think up some good ones for the next episode.
It's just something I thought of. So I couldn't think of anyone in ACOTAR. But Lucian was a really good one. Thanks for you.
Yeah. I love Lucian. I love all iterations of Lucian. I need to say that. I do.
I like Sad Boy Lucian too.
I do. I think he's just like, he's always very genuine, for better or worse.
That's true.
And he's been through a lot too. Because like I think at this point we haven't learned about his background, right?
We might have.
One of the chapters we do.
It's in there a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna get, and I mean we all know.
Yeah, we'll talk about. Yeah, we already know.
Yeah, Lucian's been through some hard times. And I think that maybe he's one of the characters that does the most growing and like has to like keep figuring out who he is in each like iteration of things. Yeah. Any final thoughts about ACOTAR, Mossverse? How much we hate, love, think there will be a redemption arc for Tamlin?
There will be.
Yeah. If he doesn't die first, is what I keep telling myself.
That
Yeah.
means the other option.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. We will keep you posted since we messed up on the chapter count and let you know what's going to be coming next week. But we will definitely be doing something live for you in about a week. We'll figure out when would work best, and we'll let you know so you can plan it, put it on your schedule, and hopefully join us. It'll be a lot of fun, and we'll get to talk about everybody's favorite Night Court High Lord.
Better be
Can't
everyone's
wait.
favorite.
It better be everyone's. I
Like
mean,
his
okay.
dad better.
Okay, if you like love Tamlin and think that Feyre should still end up with Tamlin, I do want you to join because I need to understand. Like, I just want you to come and try to convert me. It's not going to work, but I would love to hear you try. But yeah.
We're all very open.
We're not.
I didn't say accepting. I said very open.
Open,
To
yes.
hear.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. I'm a sucker for a good like line in the book. So you come give me some textual evidence that Feyre and Tamlin were fated to be together and it's been a huge mistake and they'll end up together in the end. I'll hear your theory. But yeah, this has been fun. Thanks for rereading ACOTAR with us. We're going through the whole series, so I hope you'll stick around and keep reading with us. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.